Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood, feeling blessed.
Hey guys, so I actually just recorded this video, but my mic was off, so here we go again. Okay, chapter 2.4, How successful was the League of Nations during the 1920s? So let's start with the aims, membership, and structure of the League. After World War I, many countries wanted to make sure such a terrible conflict would never happen again, so that Woodrow Wilson, the president of the United States at the time, came up with the idea for the League of Nations. His beliefs were mainly that countries needed to work together to solve the problems and keep the peace. The League's goals were 1. To prevent future wars, help rebuild peace after the war, and improve cooperation between the countries. The League officially became a thing in 1920 in Geneva, Switzerland, and it had two main parts: the General Assembly and the Council. The Assembly included all member countries and met once a year. This included permanent members and non-permanent members, while the Council was a smaller part that included only the permanent members, like Britain, France, Italy, and Japan. Germany later ended up joining in 1926, and the USSR also eventually joined in 1934 after Germany and Japan had left. There was also important support bodies like the Secretariat, which handled paperwork and reports, the Permanent Court of International Justice, which helped solve legal disagreements between the countries. Here's a little diagram of that, and yeah. Then we have the successes of the League of Nations. So, their goals, as we know, was to prevent wars, just world peace, basically. And sometimes, these instances, worked. So, in the 1920s, they solved several international disputes. The first one we can see is the Åland Islands, which was a dispute between Sweden and Finland because they both wanted to control a group of islands, and the League ruled that Finland should keep them, so both sides accepted the decision and no war happened. Any conflict was avoided. Then we have Upper Silesia, which was when the League helped divide a region between Germany and Poland after riots broke out. The people in the end of the event agreed with the decision and no harm was done. Then we have the Yugoslavia-Albania dispute, Memel and Mosul, which were also other possible conflicts that were peacefully resolved with the help from the League of Commissions and the League of Nations. And later, they also helped Greece and Bulgaria when Greek troops entered Bulgaria, and the League had to step in, and Greece pulled back to avoid more conflict because of the authority of the League. These successful actions showed that the League was strong and had authority, and they were actually trying to do something good. But while they did good things, obviously there's gonna be some bad things. So they also have other things because they didn't have their own army, and they needed members of the League to send their own troops, and they implemented a new rule or something that they had to what's it called? They had to bring no, the other countries had to put people in the troops for the League of Nations, and it made the League of Nations seem weak because some countries didn't follow through with this policy and whatever. An example of when the League completely failed to solve any conflict was in Vilna 1920, when Poland invaded a city that was claimed by Lithuania. The League could not stop it because Britain and France didn't want to take sides. And another incident is the Corfu incident from 1923, which is when Italy invaded a Greek island, and the League tried to stop Mussolini, but Italy ignored the League and instead wanted to work out a deal with the Council of Ambassadors. And both of these failures show how the League could be ignored, especially with the power from big world powers like Britain and France. If they didn't want something to happen, then the League had no say, basically, because they were the biggest supporters. Now we have the 7 main weaknesses of the League, which is created by an unpopular peace settlement, member states, the USA's refusal to join, other organizations, the need for unanimity, collective security, and national interests. These are weaknesses because the League was created after a series of peace treaties after World War One, which made countries like suspicious because it seemed like it was only for the Allied powers and like they were trying to exclude the Central powers and they didn't really want peace. They just wanted revenge, and like a lot of people did not like that. And then also, Russia was like not allowed to join Germany either, so that also caused problems. The USA, who literally came up with the idea for the league, did never joined, and this made the league look like the authority of it undermined since like people didn't want to like listen to them. And another problem is that the countries often cared about their own national interest and about peace. Like, a good example of this is when France and Britain refused to stop Poland from invading Vilna, and France didn't want to take like their troops out of the Ruhr in 1923. Also, without the support of the major powers, as I said before, like they didn't work effectively. Then we have the role and impact of the agencies. Hold on, I just need to make sure my mic's working because I don't know how to check that, but the role and impact of the agencies. So, despite its problem, the League did a lot of important work, like creating the International Labor Organization, which is right there, the ILO, and this helped improve working conditions by pushing for better hours, fair pay, and protection of the workers. And by the end of the 1920s, a lot of European countries had better like employment systems and overall help with their labor organizations because of this committee. Then we have the International Commission for Refugees, which helped resettle over 500,000 people and that were stateless and refugeed, and also that earned a Nobel Peace Prize in 1928. Then we have the World Health Organization, which worked to stop deadly diseases like cholera and stopped the spread of epidemics and improved public health systems across Europe. Then we have the Mandates Commission, which oversaw territories taken from Germany and the Ottoman Empire and like protected the rights of the land and like the laws and that stuff. And lastly, like the League was also very supportive in giving financial aid to struggling countries that were like starting off as successor states like Austria and Hungary, and they freed like slaves from the countries too. So even though the League of Nations had a lot of challenges, they also had positive impacts in some areas like health, labor, and like refugee protection. But like as you can tell, when it came to stopping wars and dealing with more serious issues, their authority was often undermined. But overall, they were like positive, but not really that strong. Thank you. That's it. Goodbye.